Good morning, beautiful people. And Josh, because I'm also talking about you when I say beautiful people.
Oh, thank you.
Fucking call me at 7:30 in the morning. I should.
It was important.
I know.
It was 7:37 actually.
It was actually 7:37. I do remember the time very distinctly because I looked down at my phone like, why are you calling me at 7:37? But it's okay. Like I tell people, if I answer, it wasn't too early or it wasn't too late. So
I figured you were the man to call.
yes. Obscure situations is what I'm good at. And I know things. I don't drink, so I can't say that the line I drink and know things. But I can say that I'm bald and I know things. Here we go. Well, it is.
Let's do it.
Wednesday, August 2nd. We are 2 days into the 8th month of the 23 year after 2,000 years past some little dude. I would say that today is a great day, especially for realtors. Don't you agree? I love it. So tell me what made yesterday a great day? Or what win are you going to get today?
One of my wins yesterday, I have been calling this lady about her expired listing, and after the 6th call, she finally answered. So I'm meeting with her on Friday.
Awesome. I love it. Persistence pays off. Great job.
I found out that she's actually done a lot of work to her home before we relist it, which is really good. And I actually got her in contact with a general contractor to help her do her countertop. So I also provided a solution to one of her problems.
There you go. We are solution based. I love that. Fantastic. That's huge. All right, what else?
Yes, I'll go. I got my just listed cards from the title company to send out to investors for one of my listings. So I'm excited.
Excited. That's awesome. Marketing.
I got my license renewed.
Woohoo! Way to go, Josh. You're a real boy again. Now Josh can legally talk about real estate. Which he couldn't do for the last 24 hours.
Or on the call yesterday.
Or on the go. That's why I didn't talk much. He was silent. So it's all good. I think today is starting off pretty awesome. I know that Lexi got some business cards ordered. She'll see soon and a name tag. So she's going to be a real girl soon. But let's talk about yesterday. What was our homework? Do we remember?
It was finding 3 probing questions.
Yeah. Objection handling with 3 probing questions. Devin, thank you so much for going first.
Okay.
I just don't like the interest rates right now.
So what concerns you about the interest rates?
We're already off to a bad start.
What? Tell me more about that.
Let's go back through the process, right? First, we have to acknowledge we heard them say something. Or we align with them so that they know that we're on their side and not adversarial. Then we isolate so that we can get to the clarifying questions.
Got it.
So, Devin, I don't like the interest rates.
I totally hear you, Dan. So just tell me a little bit more about what you don't like about the interest rates.
Well, the interest rates, the sales prices, they're all too high.
Yeah. Other than I skipped the second one.
And that's why I threw out a second objection.
Yeah. So what's I don't know. Can we skip me? It's early. I just got out of the shower.
Nope. This is part of learning. The uncomfortable essence of it is the learning environment. Who thinks they have it down and can show Devin how to do it?
Please.
Other than me.
Man, I thought I had it down until she started going.
I have it written down in the steps right next to me too. So I don't know what's going on.
All right, Josh, man, the interest rates are just so high.
Yeah, the interest rates have been high, and I kind of look at it as a good thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, other than interest rates being high, what's stopping you from buying a house right now?
That's it, man.
Well, let me tell you, with the interest rates being high right now, everybody is thinking that I'm going to wait for interest rates to drop to buy a home. So if you buy a home right now, then you can get into a home that you actually want instead of having to compete against a lot of buyers in the future. So instead of paying 50 grand over for a house, you can just get a house right now. Might be a higher monthly payment, but you can refinance later.
Awesome. I'm gonna give you a C minus.
Hey, that's passing.
You skipped over deep diving questions completely.
Deep diving questions.
Great job on the acknowledgement, aligning, and clarification. Great job there. I love how you put it into a conversation set, but we never asked, what was it about the interest rates? You went straight into solving without fully understanding what my aversion interest rate is, which not always is a bad thing. However, have we often found ourselves in a situation where we're solving a problem we don't know? We're providing a solution to something we haven't fully diagnosed. Think about this. You're in the waiting room at the hospital, or the, what do they call it? Waiting rooms at the ER, and you have a broken leg. The doctor runs in and says, I've got this really good Band-Aid, puts it on your shoulder and says, you'll be fine in 2 weeks, and then leaves. Did they provide a solution? Yeah. Was it the right solution? No. So if we don't get the right, like Devlin said, where Devin said that she was solutions, she provided solutions. If we have solutions to their problems, fantastic, we have a match. But if we have a solution and their problem is different, we don't match. So make sure we understand what the actual symptoms are so we can diagnose the root issue so we can give the right treatment. Great job though, Josh. Stellar start. Who wants to go next? Don't be shy, because it's way worse to get called out on. Isn't it, Cheryl? She was looking away. She's like, please don't call on me. Please don't call on me. Please don't call on me. Well, sorry, Cheryl.
Okay.
Interest rates are just a little too high.
Yes, I definitely get it. It's not going to go down soon. Other than the interest rates though going up, is there anything else keeping you from purchasing now?
No, that's it.
Well, because I've found that a lot of the sellers are offering concessions now too to buy down that interest rate and for the first year or two, and you can refi later. So
Okay.
it's better to buy now. What is it about the interest rates that are keeping you from?
I just heard that, 7% is really high. My dad bought a house a couple years ago at 2%.
Yeah, and actually 7% is the average overall from all the years with interest rates. We're never going to get to those really lower interest rates again. So now is a good time the market is leveling out. So it's a good time now to go ahead and buy and get ahead of the game.
Okay. All right, team. How many times did she dive deep?
But
Once. What should you? So here's some things. Let's start with that. Right? Cheryl, what other question could you have asked? You kind of went the process. You acknowledged, aligned, clarified. Then you went to solution, but then went back to clarification. You caught yourself, which was great.
Yeah.
But then ask, like when I said the interest rates are too high, what could you have asked next? Before you went into your story about 7% actually.
Oh.
2 words. What else?
Oh, what else is keeping you? Okay.
No, just
Oh,
that.
I have that.
What
Yeah,
else?
is anything else keeping you from?
We've already done that. So other than the interest rate, is there anything else keeping you from buying a house? I said no.
Okay.
Then you go, okay, what is it about the interest rates? And I told you, well, 7% seemed high. And my dad bought a house a couple years ago at 2%. And you can say, okay, what else? Keep me
what else?
talking. When you keep the person talking, do you get more information?
Yes.
Absolutely. Right? What else? Tell me more. That's interesting. Would you explain that? Our deep dive questions don't have to be very promos and giant, revelations. They can be as simple as, and? What does that mean? So, who wants to give it a shot? We're developing here, so you guys didn't do your homework. Now you get to do it in class. Teacher's giving you time to finish your homework in class.
I think it's kind of a gateway. In that point, it's kind of a gateway to just find out more why is it so concerning with the interest rate for them. So just keep that in mind. It's a chance for you to educate yourself more on them.
Absolutely. So interest rate now is a big conversation, isn't it? What does interest rate actually translate into?
Monthly payment.
Exactly. So that's why I wanted to work on interest rate, because that's what all of you buyers agents and people working with buyers are struggling with right now. Is I don't want to buy until the interest rates come down. Interest rates. The reality is interest rates affect monthly payment. So solutions are very easy to come off of. May I give you an example? Right? And I'll script both sides of it if I have to. I don't care. Dan, the interest rates are so high. Well, I understand that. A lot of people have been saying the same thing. Other than interest rates, is there anything else keeping you from buying a home today? Well, no, that's it. Okay, great. What is it about interest rates that has you concerned? Well, I mean, right now they're 7%, and I've never bought anything with that high of interest rate. My dad bought a house at 2% just a couple of years ago. Okay, what else? I mean, I want to make sure that I can afford the house, and I want to live comfortably. All right, well, what does comfortable mean to you? Well, we're currently paying $1,800 a month, and I want to keep my payment around there. Okay, not to exceed how much? I mean, I guess we can go up to like $2,200, maybe $100 a week or so. Okay, so you're telling me if I find you a house that you guys could fit in, that fits your finances and your lifestyle, that you would buy a house today? And notice how I'm also doing this subliminal. I'm getting the silent agreement. I've got people on the call shaking their head. They don't even know why. They're like, yeah, I'm saying yes. I don't know why. His big ass bald head is bouncing. I'm going to follow it. But notice how we can go through the conversation like that and get agreement. Did I even have to deal with interest rates? No, the reality is we just have to get to a place that's financially comfortable. We all have solutions, like Cheryl even said, right? Well, 7% is actually the average. If you look at the last 40 years of recorded interest history, 7% is a median. And lately they've tipped under 7%. So it's actually a really good time to buy. On top of that, do you mind if I also share with you that because there's such a high interest rate, a lot of buyers like yourself, we're hesitant about buying. So the market has got a different feel to it. So you're not paying $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 over list price just to compete. So now you can actually just buy the house. And the beautiful thing is if interest rates come down, what can you do? Somebody tell me, what can you do if interest rates come down?
Refinance.
Refinance.
But that's also pretty bad advice, right? I mean, if you're getting people into a home, telling them they can refinance in 6, 7, 8 months, that's kind of doing a disservice, no?
No, it's not. It's saying,
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Jorge. Well, thank you so much for bringing that up. Other than the fact that the interest rate advice is terrible to you, what else is keeping you from moving forward with this training? I'm just
Nothing,
hitting.
just pretty much that.
But the thing is, when it comes to the interest rate being lower, we're not telling them they can. We're just saying, if the interest rate comes down, what can you do? I'm not telling them what they can do. I'm asking them. They're self-identifying. Now, what happens if the interest rate goes up continually and never comes back down? Then you're a genius because you bought at 7% before it hit 10%.
That's a great point, Dan. I think that's a great point because I guess when I have those conversations with people, I make sure they understand that this is your worst case scenario right now. If interest rates come down and values hold the same, you're going to have the ability to refinance. And if they go up, you're locked in and you're safe. But make sure you can afford this right now.
That's exactly it.
This is perfect. Make sure it fits her.
Exactly it. We're looking to be financeable right now. Are you comfortable right now? And notice in my response to the script is if we found a home that fit your needs, your lifestyle, and was comfortable for your budget, would you make a decision today? And then we did the head nods. If they say no, guess what? Congratulations, level 2, you've unlocked another objection. Then you got to ask, Gio, what would it be to stop? What would be stopping you at that point? well, I'm just not comfortable buying a house right now. Now we have a whole new set of objections to handle and talk about. Identifying objections allows you to get to the root of it. So it's not just the interest rate, it's the comfortability. Comfortability? You guys know that even though I'm a scripting coach, I make up words all the time. So comfortability, the comfort with somebody's payment, because it all comes down to payment. Cash buyers aren't are worried about interest rate. So you can assume with utmost certainty that someone worried about interest rate is probably financing. I have never in my entire life had anyone say, I'm paying cash, what's the interest rate? And I would look at them if they did and say, ma'am, you're done. So let's get around. Who's next? Jack, man, the sales price is just too much for me. I'm not comfortable at that level.
I get it. Can you tell me a little more about it?
Well, yeah, it's just, I mean, $500,000 for a house, man. It's unheard of. My last house cost me $250,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's going up. Have you been to the grocery store lately?
I have.
Everything went up there too, right?
It did.
Dan, can you tell me what's this house going to do for you?
Well, I don't know, Jack. It's too expensive. The interest rates are too high. I don't like the neighborhood. I hate the color of the home. The neighbors smell like dog cheese, and I hate dogs.
Okay, well, I get it.
What did
This
Jack
house,
fail to do?
this house might not be for you. Dan, if I could find you a house that didn't smell like cheese, didn't smell like dogs, was in the perfect neighborhood, would you be interested in it?
Possibly.
Okay. Dan, what if we looked at something else and it was in a different neighborhood? It was $500,000. Would you be comfortable buying that?
I don't know, Jack. $500,000 is just a lot of house.
Is there a price point where you would be comfortable?
I don't know.
All right.
Do you know why $500,000 is an uncomfortable price for me?
Because you bought your.
Ask him.
What is it about 500,000 that's uncomfortable for you?
Not even that, but we haven't even isolated if that's the root cause of it all.
Other than price, what else is keeping you going to buy?
Well, I got it. So here's when we don't isolate the objection, it's very hard to pin down the issue. So let's start back with that, Jack. $500,000 for a house is a lot of money, man.
What about 500,000 seems like a lot to you, Dan?
For the price, that's 500,000 is a lot. It's a big number. There's a 5.
If we found something under $500,000,
somebody type in the chat other than
the price being high, is there anything else holding you back from buying a house right now?
Man, I just got to see if my dad will give me that much money.
Okay. And other than seeing if your dad will give you that much money, is there anything else holding you back from buying a house right now?
No, that's it.
Okay. So if your dad will give you $500,000 to buy the house, you'd be willing to buy the $500,000 house today?
Well, yeah, if my dad would give me the money for it, hell yeah.
Okay. Have you spoke to your dad about this?
No.
Would you like to have a conversation with your dad and see if he'd be willing to help you out and get you into the $500,000 house?
Maybe.
Dan, when would you like to talk to your dad about this?
When I see him next.
When do you think you'd see him again?
Around Christmas.
Do you think this house might be gone by Christmas?
I hope not.
Dan, could we give your dad a call today and see if he'd be willing to give you $500,000?
Maybe.
Dan, what time today would you call your dad?
I don't know.
If you did know Dan, What time do you think you could give him a call?
Right now?
Do you want me to wait on hold while you give him a call?
Sure. Break script.
All right.
I'm being difficult on you, Jack, because at some point, do you have to take over the conversation? Well, Dan, it seems like the next step for you is to call your dad. What's his number? Let's get him on the phone. Would that not have avoided a 20-question roundup? But you can also get some inference to it. Jack, knowing your dad better than I do, what is he likely to say? Then you get some agreement. You know, what started this process anyways? Objections only start us in a conversation, but allows us to go deeper. So great job, Jack. You guys heard a bunch of technologies he used in there. One of my favorites, if you did know, when would you call your dad? Just open-ended questions, projecting down the line, getting that next agreement in place. But don't
Happy
forget,
birthday, Jack. Sorry.
Thank you.
is it Jackie's birthday?
Yeah.
Mr. Handsome finally turns 30, huh?
Long time ago.
You're younger than me, dude. Shut. So, objections, conversations, clarity. Sometimes you got to run the conversation. So, great job so far today. Who wants to go next? Who's going to be braving? Dun dun dun. Dylan. I can tell by the uncomfortable smiles people don't want to go. So, Dylan, do me a favor and pick who goes next.
Oh, okay.
You see that relief on his? Oh my God.
Let's go with Jalen King.
All right. Jalen, he's first round, not even licensed yet. He's in the batter's box. All right, Dylan, what's his objection?
They just don't know if it's the right time.
There you go.
Okay, I understand that. So what makes you unsure about it being the right time?
I don't know. There's just a lot. My family's going through a lot right now.
Okay, I don't want to pry, but if you would help me understand if there's anything that you could clarify about what makes you unsure for it being the right time.
Yeah, well, my daughter's going off to college, and so we're worried about paying for that. And we also have an old car that we might think about upgrading. So we just don't know if it's the right time for us to buy a house, but we are really interested in looking into it.
Okay, so you're interested in looking, and I guess what are some guidelines on a house that would be a potential that would help you change your mind?
I guess it would have to be a nice neighborhood. We've been living in kind of a rougher area, but
Okay.
I feel like we have the money to try and get into a nicer area for us. And also, since my daughter's going for college, we might want to get a little bit smaller of a house. So maybe that'll open up some things.
Mm-hmm. So you'll be downsizing. You get ready to send your daughter off to school, which is a great thing. I'm sure that's exciting. And you also said you had you were looking to purchase another car, and your biggest thing would be downsizing. So we can work with that. I'm freezing up.
We isolated.
I'm sorry?
We isolated.
Other than those things you just mentioned, is anything else keeping him from?
Okay.
Right. Other than it not being the right time, putting your daughter through school and having to upgrade a car, is there anything else that would stop you from wanting to look into buying a home? I don't care if they give you 5 objections. You can run down the list. Other than having your daughter go to school, upgrading your car, it not being the right time, your wife's hair color being purple, and Godzilla coming and eating your mushrooms, is there anything keeping you from buying a house? And if they say no, then one by one, go over them. Or you can do this. Well, Dylan, out of the 5 things you just told me, what do you think is the most important thing we talk about?
Probably just my worries with our finances, with sending my daughter to school, and maybe the new car.
Tell me more.
Yeah, we just don't know if we'll have it in the budget to buy the house after paying for both of those things.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Well, we have a good budget set up. We think we could afford about $2,000 a month payment. It's just, I don't know if we'll find a house that we really like at this time in that payment.
Okay. What makes you think that you're not gonna find something you like in that payment?
Just everything's so expensive nowadays
Compared to what?
compared to just a couple years ago even.
Right. Well, where were you a couple years ago?
Same place I am now, I guess.
Have you had a raise since then?
Yeah, a small one.
Okay, how much?
About $5,000 a year.
Okay, so decent size actually.
Yeah, I would say.
So if I found you something that you guys liked and we kept it within that $2,000 or so budget, would that make sense for us to look into it deeper?
Yeah, I think that would be worth looking into.
Okay. Do we not get agreement? Did I hand to handle any of these objections? Did I have to absolve any of them or cure any of his issues? No, like I said yesterday, sometimes objections don't need to be solved. They just need to be heard and then step over them. Notice by the third question, we started to get his budget and comfort. Why do you think I told you need to go 3 deep at a minimum? Could we get a lot more there? Okay. Has things gotten more expensive in the last couple of years? Yes, absolutely. They really have. Undoubtedly. Do we believe that things are going to continue to get more expensive? So what happens, Dylan, if you don't buy a house now? We start this process again in 2 years and everything is more expensive.
It's probably going to be harder, and there, you don't know what the interest rate's going to do by then. So
uncertainty, right? People make decisions for certainty. Now, next question can also be, Dylan, what kept you from buying a house 2 years ago?
I guess I just didn't feel like it was the right time back then as well.
And write this question down. What did that cost you? What did that cost you? Look at the pain on his face. He knows it's cost him tens and $20,000. We absolve things by creating reality around them. And emotion is reality. So great job today, guys. We're going to continue this tomorrow. Objections are not going away, and neither am I. When it comes down to handling objections, we got to get better at them. Dive in 3 deep. So again, align, acknowledge, align, isolate, clarify, solve. I'm sure Denny Grimes teaches a little different words, but it's about the same process and structure. We have to be able to isolate objections so that we can dive deep to find the root issues of what's really happening. It wasn't the sales price for Jack. It was the fact that I need to talk to Daddy to see if he'll write me a check. It was my fear of asking my dad for $500,000. Well, we could have dived into a little bit deeper. How much money do you have? Well, I've got $350 right now. Oh, so you only need to ask your dad for $150,000. Oh, you're right. So great job today. Love that everyone's getting out of their comfort zone. Tomorrow, I'm excited to see even more of you on camera so we can have a better day at this. All right? Go out there and find some wins. And still then, big high five.